What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back and we are previewing and I'm giving my predictions for the 2023 Legion Sports Fest Pro. We've got the Open Men's Bodybuilding and we've got the Classic Physique as well. So let's get straight into it. Drop your comments and give me your predictions live, or if you're watching on replay as well, drop them in the comments and give the video a like. But let's get into it. We'll start with the Classic Physique in my top 3, and then I'll get into my top 10 for the Open. In the Classic Physique, in third place, I have Bryant Smith. This dude actually has a great physique. I've only got this shot up here, but really nice physique. And he actually got second at the Legion last year. In second place, I have Logan Franklin, and he's a guy that missed last year's Olympia due to some last minute, I don't know if it was water pill issues or what it was, but he missed that under the guidance of Milos Sarcev. He then left Milos Sarcev. I have no idea, if he blamed Milos in any way or anything like that. I don't think that was the case. But he just missed out on qualifying at was it the Texas Pro? I'm trying to remember who that was up against right now, but it was someone pretty decent. Oh, it was an Asian bodybuilder. I can't quite remember his name right now. So he finished, I think, second to him or third, possibly after Robert Timms. I'm not too sure who actually got up there. Now I'm thinking of it, but he's got a great physique. He's a guy who's finished in the top 10 in the Classic Physique Olympia. He just typically picks really hard shows to do, and this one is no exception because he's up against Terrence Ruffin, who's going to pop on the screen now, who won that Dubai Pro as well. And I mean, he beat some very good top 10 worthy, maybe even top 5 worthy. From the people I saw there, look at the conditioning. It's crazy. It was actually one of his lightest packages. I mean, I prefer the razor sharp inside out conditioning with a little bit smaller package, but he can add more weight. So he can definitely move up in here in weight. And sometimes you see him when he's not in his poses, he looks very slight compared to some of these other guys. But when you see him here and he's in such great condition, he actually looks pretty big. So he contorts his body in ways that just makes him look better than he is. So Terrence Ruffin, I'll go back to him. I have him winning the Classic Physique here, and he's already qualified for the 2023 Classic Physique Olympia. So he's going to not only steal a qualification, but I suppose qualify again in some sort of weird way. But anyway, let's get on to the Open Men. And Dorian Haywood, I have placing 10th in this show. This was posted about a week ago. Dorian has an extremely thick upper body. He comes in pretty good condition. His two downfalls to his physique is his legs are a little too slight, especially with that sweep. And also his waist is a little bit thicker than most, but he has a lot of thick, dense muscle, as you guys can see. Great conditioning. You see the glutes are in from the side. Overall, like that side chest is very, very good. That's one of his stronger shots. And he's a very good bodybuilder. He can place in top 5 in shows, no worries at all, and he has before. So I have him in 10th. In 9th, I have Jan Turek, as seen on the screen right now. He's been looking really good lately in his updates. The only thing I noticed about his physique is just in the hams and glutes. It's not quite as crisp as I feel like I've seen in the past, unless I just didn't notice as much because he wasn't a guy that was on my radar as much. But he looks a little bit tighter in the hams and glutes. But compared to the rest of his physique, I feel like he's just not quite as crisp there. So I think he's got a little bit more conditioning this time around there. So hopefully that holds him in good stead. And I have him placing 9th here. It's quite a long video, so I'll just skip over that. Oh my God. But yeah, he looks pretty damn good. I think that's the end of it. Then we've got William Martins. I have him placing in 8th here. William Martins is huge, like very, very big bodybuilder, but he just doesn't have the aesthetics. His midsection is sort of wide, and it's a strange shape when he goes into his shots, but he is a legit 300-pounder, absolutely enormous. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does at this contest, whether the mass can sort of freak people out and he'll place right up there in the top 5 somewhere, or possibly, who knows. I'll see you guys getting in the comments. William will surprise, though. Possibly. Absolutely, possibly. What does this go up to now? I'll just check my predictions in my comments, so I'm making sure I get these numbers right. In 7th place, I have Ken Jackson. He actually just won the Masters. He beat Mohamed El Imam, who's actually in the Open as well. So he won that one. Looks really damn good. He's one of these guys that has really nice shape, round muscle bellies, and really isn't weak anywhere, but isn't like a mass monster or anything like that. But the packages he's been bringing, well, I suppose to the Masters Olympia. Sorry, I'll just get back to him. That's Eric Wood coming up. So you might be able to guess my next prediction. But the packages that Ken Jackson has been bringing, like to the Masters Olympia and this show, is his best of all time by far. He's really found the key to his conditioning and he's coming really, really good. So looking forward to seeing Ken Jackson again. And Eric Wood, I have in 6th place. This guy could easily place higher. So I'm prefacing it with that straight away. He competed earlier the year in the New York Pro. He placed top 5 there, looked really, really good. Super, super impressive. And he looked a lot bigger on stage when he looks in the gym. So if he can really bring conditioning, because last time he's on stage, he just lacked the conditioning from behind. And we were seeing these crazy, freaky, shredded pre-contest updates. And then he got on stage and he was just missing that little bit from the back. But his size is actually what surprised me. I thought it would be the opposite way around, where his size would be lacking and his conditioning would be insane. So, yeah. Anyway, Eric Wood, he's looking pretty damn good in these updates. We'll have to wait and see if this sort of matches up to what we see on stage. And you see there, you can see maybe all the arms are maybe not quite as big, but he's a taller guy. And when he stands on stage, he's huge. Now, Justin Rodriguez, I have him placing in 5th, and I feel a little rude because he's a guy that should be a favorite coming into this show. But I'm just looking at these recent updates. Now, his back one looks really big, but I'm like, is the conditioning there 100%, or is this good lighting? It's one of those situations where I really can't tell. And then I look at this shot, and I'm like, is he as big as, oops, went right back to the start. Sorry, I'll just get back to there. I look at this and I go, is he as big as he normally is, and is he as conditioned? Now, you can see the shoulders. He's got nice lines through his delts. He's got a good amount of muscle. He looks good here. Like, don't get me wrong, he looks good. But is this like a 5th good, 4th good, or is this like a 1st or 2nd good? That's sort of what I'm wondering with Justin Rodriguez. And I'm just looking at the quads and I'm like, the lines are there, but they're just not overly crisp. And this is a pretty recent sort of an update, about a week ago, I think it was, maybe even less. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but he obviously has a great back as well. His back double bicep is insane. So, and good point here by Daniel Noble in the comments, says Justin gets ready quick, but he's not ready. Something looks different in his structure. His triceps are gone. Yeah, so I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it's he does have a big structure though. So the next guy I have on this list is Joel Thomas. Super impressive bodybuilder. He's been bringing his best as well. He's a guy that has great calves, very balanced head to toe. I actually really like his physique. It's unique. It's more like a throwback with like extra muscle on there. So I'm always really impressed by Joel Thomas. Don't know where he'll place here. Could he win the contest and shock everyone? He could. Absolutely. Do I think that will happen? Probably not. He is a pro show winner. He got that win against Quentin Araya. Was it last year, the year prior, to qualify for last year's Olympia? So it would have been the year prior. So he got the win there. It wasn't the strongest of shows. It's not like it was stacked, not as stacked as this show. So can he do it in a lineup like this? It remains to be seen, but he's a guy that has the potential, and I believe will be in the first call out. Now, the next guy on the list, let me go to my predictions, is Lewis Breed. So let me bring him up. So here's Lewis Breed. Very good bodybuilder. Came on the scene, I'm trying to think what show it was, a little bit earlier this year, and shocked everyone. Placed 3rd, and he actually beat Joel Thomas at that show. So that's why I've got him ahead of Joel Thomas here. But I probably would have had Joel Thomas over him. So I was like weighing this one up. I'm like, do I put Lewis Breed? But it looks like he's bringing a great package again. He's beat him before, so that's why I did bet him in my predictions. And looking very, very good here. He's actually probably looking better than that show he actually beat Joel Thomas at earlier this year. So I mentioned he's got a wide waist. Yeah, he does have a wider waist. He's not like an aesthetic guy, but he brings a lot of freaky muscle to the stage. So I think that's why the judges like him there. And in 2nd place, I have Charles the Definition Griffen. Now, I changed my predictions right before I went live on this one. I actually didn't have Charles Griffen in 2nd. I had him in 1st. But I was doing some thinking, and Charles Griffen, he's had a pec injury. I believe it was earlier this year. And I look at this shot and I go, well, this could easily win. These shots could win. I mean, I would like to see him hit his legs a little bit differently in this rear lat spread. But beside chest, the chest does look a little flatter than I've seen it before, but his legs are improved. So I'm wondering if maybe his legs are a little bit better, his chest is a little bit worse. Maybe his upper body's downsized a little bit. Because what I'm seeing on that side chest, I'm not sure. This was actually, I think, 1 or 2 days out. I'm trying to think now. I think this was 1 day out. So I'm thinking, is he quite full enough? Or is the conditioning going to be enough? Is he going to fill up a little bit more? Because I'm just looking at that side chest, and upper body wise, I just don't think he's as big as I've seen before. Although I look at these pictures and I'm like, this is really impressive. So his legs are probably going to be better, but is his overall physique going to be better? It remains to be seen, but he is a great bodybuilder now. You've always got to consider him for the win, or at least be right up there in any show that's not the Olympia or the Arnold. So shout out to Charles Griffen. What he's been doing the last few years is truly impressive. He's really transformed his physique and deserves all the credit in the world for that, because it is just, yeah, like I said, very, very impressive. And in first place, I have John Jewett. This was, I believe, 1 day out of that show, the Legion. And this is his open debut, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm wondering if he's going to be quite as crisp. I'm like, could he have done with maybe 1 pound lower? But then, he flexes down there and you see, look, he's got chest striations there. So I don't think conditioning is actually going to be an issue, to be honest. Then you look at him here as well. Plenty of lines through the glutes, very low hanging hamstring, super impressive side leg. And when he goes to that side chest, he's got a good amount of thickness. He's definitely bigger than he's been before. I'm not sure how heavy he was here. I'll quickly try and look at it, actually. I think I can find it. He says, 1 day out, Legion Sports Fest. Today is about evaluating how much food and fluid I need to go in to nail a visual that is close to stage for tomorrow. This is 2 meals in for the day. I mean, he said 300 grams of carbs, 60 grams of protein, and 20 grams of fat. I assume that's for what he's had over those 2 meals so far. And 3/4 of a gallon. He said, I do practice pump up like this, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to his weight. With this in place, body weight from 222 fasted to 224.4, and gives a balance of full and hard with good waist control. So from the 212, this dude is up about 12 pounds. Maybe he takes a diuretic and loses a few pounds, even if he's 222 or 223. This dude's up a good 10 pounds, and maybe he wasn't even filling out that actually, I think he was filling out that 212 pretty much 100%. So let me get back onto, I'll get back onto John Jewett. So he's up a lot in weight. So very, very impressive that he's up so much in weight, and he's bringing great conditioning. As you can see, look at this. So someone I saw in the comments before said he was weak from the back, I think someone said that earlier. Little bit soft, I'd say, in that rear lat spread. I would like to see him maybe not even 224. I'd like to see him like 220 probably. But it's just that little bit in some areas. But I think that he's got enough. I think he's got enough conditioning, and he's got more size. And he looked so impressive earlier this year at the Atlanta Pro. And look at the leg conditioning. It's definitely there. So it's going to be a very interesting show. I love that we're going into a show and we do have no clue who's actually going to win this one. Like, it's really up in the air. Like, do you give like John Jewett a 35%, 40% chance of winning? Charles Griffen probably a 35, 40% chance of winning. Justin Rodriguez maybe like a 10% chance because he could bring his best, and it's just not, the updates just aren't showing us what he truly looks like. Lewis Breed, could he shock everyone, give him a few percent chance of winning? It's really exciting, but I think most likely it comes down to John Jewett versus Charles Griffen, but you never know. I'd love to see that as a top 2 call out. I'm going to make a prediction now. The top 2 call out, I think that there's going to be a final 2 call out. It's going to be John Jewett and Charles Griffen battling it out from the win. Let me know your predictions in the comments. I'll quickly get to your comments now, see if anyone's asking any questions or anything. If you do have any, drop them in now before I wrap this one up. Good question from Daniel Noble. is this a qualification for this Olympia or next year? It is for this year's Olympia. This is the last weekend, so there's also the Milan Pro on as well. So I encourage everyone, if you are watching this, make sure that you click one of the links in the description below. I believe they're in the description of this video, or both the links. I'm going live for both this show. There's a prejudging and a finals. There's Classic Physique, as you can see on screen right now, of Logan Franklin, and there is Open. So I'm going live for that, for prejudging and finals. And I'm also going live literally in about 30 minutes from now. But that's for the Milan show. I've got a preview of that up now. So make sure you click on those and click the notification bell on those. And then when you go to the, just go to my channel and you can do that as well. And you'll be able to get notifications when I do go live all weekend. And it's going to be awesome. So yeah, the Red Loop said, run a poll. Okay, I'll run a quick poll on here. View on YouTube. Because yeah, this is going to be interesting who you guys have. So I'll go into live for another 5 minutes so we can run this poll and get some results. Just loading it up now. Hopefully it's not affecting this for you guys too much. All right, let's do a poll. Everyone needs a poll in their life. I don't know. All right. So who do you have winning the Legion? And who are we going to go with? We'll put John Jewett. I think I can only add 4 options here, so let me know who you want me to add as an option. Charles Griffen. It's really tough to pick. I might say Lewis Breed. You could even say Eric Wood, honestly. Like, it's a tough one. I'll say Justin Rodriguez. Sorry, Joel Thomas. Sorry, Eric Wood. But I can only add 4. So the poll is up. Get your votes in. Red Loop polls boost your engagement metrics big time. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So early days, we've got 11 votes in, and we've got 73% Charles Griffen, 27 John Jewett. So Charles Griffen looks like the favorite so far. Great question in comments as well. Is good Vito competing here? I'm not laughing at your question. I was laughing at someone else's comment. Siddiq Yazidi. No, he's not. And that's the weird thing. There's no announcement. He said he didn't say specifically this show, but it was alluded to that he's going to America and competing. That never happened. There's no word that he's pulled out. And you can see in his recent sort of videos online, as long as they're recent, he's like off season. You can see facially, he's filled up a little bit of water and pulled out of his prep. There's been no word from Chris Aceto either. I might even reach out to Chris and see if he'll respond and give me any updates, but I don't think he'll do that when, it's his athlete that hasn't announced it yet, but I can always check. But yeah, very unusual. We're seeing no good Vito. He did commit to wanting to qualify for the Olympia this year. And to be honest, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have beaten a John Jewett or a Charles Griffen. Who knows if he even would have been in the top 5 of this show. Like, now I know a lot of people were very big on Good Vito, but yeah, I don't know. How much stacked for you are these 2 shows? I'm not sure what that means. Are the lineups stacked? Lineup's pretty stacked. I'd say, considering there's 2 shows on a weekend, they're pretty stacked. Yeah, the Red Loop. Vito went radio silent after the birth of his son, it seems. Yeah, well, having a child can be stressful for sure. I know about that. What's your opinion on William Martins? I mentioned him earlier. I have him in like 7th, just because I think the shape. And you got guys like this, like Eric Wood, who I'm predicting in 6th, and I'm like, this guy could win it. So it's another one that is very tough to predict because you've got to put someone down in 7th. Good question. Do you think Joel Thomas hernia will hold him back from beating these guys? Now let's get up to Joel Thomas. Oops, I just skipped him. I think Here we go. There's Joel Thomas. Now, his hernia to me doesn't look obscene, but maybe if he's hitting a most muscular, maybe it looks a little bit worse, when you're squeezing down on it. I actually had an umbilical hernia, so um, I know what that's like. And it's like, I remember pumping up backstage doing like push-ups, and you feel like pushing out more, and you're sort of like, ugh. And mine wasn't that bad, and I did have it fixed, and they put in the meshing, which you're not meant to have. But yeah, it may hurt him, it may not. I don't know how it looks in the most muscular, so I'd have to see. But his doesn't look too bad. Sometimes you see them, they look really bad on guys. Like, to me, it doesn't look that bad in that shot, but they do sort of stand out, I guess. So, not sure. Mark's Max Muscle here. Yeah, I did an interview. Guys, make sure you check this out. I did an interview with EP09 on YouTube as well. And I think it was about an hour and 15 minutes, and we just discussed YouTube and bodybuilding. And I honestly can't even remember what we discussed exactly, but it was really cool. So make sure you check that out. And thank you, Mark's Max Muscle. Go check Mark's Max Muscle out on YouTube also. Stanimal, Stan Delonge. Justin Rodriguez is bringing what should be his best condition to date. We spoke about Justin just before. I really do, because updates didn't look like it as much, but Justin's updates sometimes are weird. They're hard to go off, because with Justin, I feel like sometimes his updates make him look worse than he looks, and then sometimes they make him look better. It's like really confusing. But yeah, I mean, the condition, he comes in so quick. So Justin's one of those guys that could look okay in his updates and then comes in looking ridiculous. So based on what he's done in the past, he's a very, very good bodybuilder. So Martin's lost over 65 pounds during his prep. You think Chad bulked him too high? I mean, he's shredded now, William Martins. That's Jan Turek. I mean, look at that. That's conditioning. So I don't think so. I mean, maybe because he's a guy with a slightly thicker waist. Well, I mean, the structure more than anything is big. I mean, he doesn't have, a thin waist or like flat abs. So yeah, I think maybe bulk him to the max isn't the best idea, but at the same time, it's like, how's this guy going to beat people without the most beautiful, well, not even most beautiful, just having a great structure in terms of the waist? It's like he has to get massive. So his hands are sort of tied a little bit. Problem with Joel's is lower upper imbalance. Justin is maybe the widest pro. Yeah, he is wide, like crazy wide. People brought up that his delt's a little suspect in the past, but I mean, it's. I think when they're lumpy more and it's like a aggressive lump coming out, I think that's worse. So Charles hasn't shown his chest from the front yet, and the back. He looks like he lost significant upper body density everywhere after the injury. Possibly, yeah. It's. I think there's a little bit lost there, so that's why I've got John Jewett over him. I thought after the Olympia last year, Farah said he wasn't going to coach men's opens athletes anymore. It was dangerous to his heart. I don't know who he's even coaching, because Chad, I think, is coaching William. What's up, Lucas? Hey, Xavier, thanks for the content. Thumbed up the video. Yes, give it a thumbs up if you haven't. Great podcast with EP09. Thank you, my man. Appreciate that. He's doing a good job over there. Here we go. A clarification of a stacking. I mean, we've stacked how much top contenders are near one from other, how less points will have first from second, third. Yeah, I mean, they're stacked in terms of being very close. They're stacked. A lot of these shows are now at the end of the year getting stacked down to 7, because there's a bunch of guys that are close that I'm like, well, I could qualify for the Olympia potentially. So if you get 6 of them, 7 of them going in a show, then it's like, it's stacked. But we're not having like I mean, we've got some pretty top guys in this show, and the other one as well. It's just that they're not we haven't got the hunters and the names like Sergio Oliva Jr. and Nathan D'Asher in these ones and stuff, But we've got some pretty damn good names, so it's exciting. Okay. So George Farrah's coaching Justin Rodriguez. Thank you. Also, how do you place this contenders in the O lineup? I'll do that in another video, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell button. But anyway, guys, I'm going live in probably, I'm guessing, about 20 minutes. I've got to check out where this show is at. Make sure that you watch the live that I'm doing. You can watch along. You can pay for the pay-per-view. I don't think it's too expensive, this next show. So make sure you get around that and click the notification bell button. And yeah, I think you can click to notify when that specific live does go live. So make sure you do check that out. And also, there is a live stream for the Legion. The link to that is in the description below as well, that you can purchase. So make sure you check that out. I'll be obviously purchasing both and going live for my watch along. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for doing this live. This one was fun. I'll be back with probably a lot of you guys very, very soon. Pay attention. Probably 20 minutes. It could be 35. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll keep you guys updated in the live chat of those ones. So make sure you check it out. Anyway, guys, that's it for myself. My name is Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.